Alright, good morning. It is Friday. Today's a big speed day. We are backing off the number of reps this week to 4 instead of 5 sprints on our fly 10s, but we're expanding the distance. We're going to do flying 10s with a 30-yard build today, so potentially could have another PR speed today. And I'd be really happy if I'm close to 0.93. That's what we hit last week. I think I can maybe do about the same. I'm not feeling as good as I did last week, but we'll see. Doing my intro outside right now because there's a fan inside the indoor and you'll hear it, but it is drowning out my voice. And I'll be getting a mic pretty soon so I get you guys some better audio. But that's the plan for today. Not going to show you much of the warm-up. We will do some hurdle hops in place to prime for the sprints. Then we'll do some straight leg bounds through the free lap gates, do some A skips, and then we'll get into build up reps to warm up and then the flying 10s. Something I'm doing in my warm up today is a snappy leg swing. So I go to the top, and at the very top I try to relax my hip flexor group, bringing it up, and then I whip it back down and I claw the ground. I'll show you what that looks like. I just think that's a lot more specific to the demands of what we're about to get into, and it's very similar to what I've been doing with the leg swings on the wall, on the outdoor turf, actively swinging up and down and not just letting gravity control my leg. I'm practicing that reciprocal on and off motion in order to bypass that tension and create more speed and relax faster. Just some extensive ankle stuff, get the ankles ready for hard contacts. Just did some ankling right there. We're going to get into some other extensive hops. Going to get into several rounds of these in-place hurdle jumps now. Quick contacts, a lot of height. Use the hip flexors, get the knees up tall. So real quick with these in-place tuck jumps, these serve a purpose more so than just developing that elasticity and that ability to react and collide with the ground. This is really good special conditioning for the hip flexors. Initiating that ground contact and then redirecting your body mass up and getting your knees up and initiating that contraction really quickly, I think that serves a lot of utility for preparing the legs to actually sprint and get that knee tall. It's just something I've enjoyed doing. It makes my hip flexors feel a lot better. Instead of just regular pogo hops, I feel like I'm incorporating a necessary prerequisite for good sprinting mechanics, being able to get the knee tall out in front of my body and stay front side with my leg to allow me to be in a powerful position to hit the ground. I feel like this prepares me for that really, really well. I feel like I'd do YouTube videos more often, by the way, if I had this mic. I mean, I can't wait to get it. It's going to make things so convenient because I'll be able to multitask, load the bar up as I talk, and my sessions have been like 20, 25 minutes longer than usual because I've got this stage fright I'm trying to work through, and also people around me. I got to isolate myself, and usually I don't really have that problem, but like holding a full camera set on a tripod in the middle of the weight room kind of draws a lot of attention to yourself. So I'm trying to find better ways to do this and provide you guys the content that you want to see. But I think the mic is going to make things so much better. Be able to keep the camera in one spot, don't have to move it around to follow me, so I'm able to talk to you. It's going to be a lot better in about 2 weeks. I like timing bounds. Shout out Andrew Nilo at Oral Roberts for inspiring that, because I've been doing that ever since I saw him do that stuff, and it really helps to drive the intent of those movements. When is that not a good thing? So you can do that with power skips, bounds, bent knee bounds, so many different ways you can utilize that. One, 1, 2 for the first warm-up. Now this is a good sign. 103. I feel really, really graceful and loose and fluid today, so we're about to get into our 4 working reps. I'm going to rest about another minute and rip this as hard as I can. Quick little note about speed work and what's fast enough to actually get the adaptation you want. I think a good rule of thumb is if you're doing intensive maximal effort work, you want to be at 95% or above what your all-time max is. So last week I hit a .93 flying 10. I really want to say that that was an outlier. I hope it wasn't, but I'm going to call it an outlier because the other numbers during that session didn't come very close to that .93. So .93 is 21.98 miles an hour. I'm going to call my PR before that was 21.5 or so. So today I take 21.5, multiply that by 95% by 0.95, and what's that number? It's around 20, 20.3, 20.4. So I'm trying to stay above that for all these reps. That's how you have a really good certainty that you're doing what you want to do. And you also couple that with the auto-regulation aspect that I talked about the other day. But general rule of thumb, you don't just want to run and get the work in, because you're deconditioning yourself to move quick. You're better off just delaying that session, putting in the work when your body's fresh and able to produce the outcome, the outputs that you need to actually drive that adaptation and that training effect. Not the best rep. I think my intuition about where I was today was pretty accurate as far as how ready I was and where we were going to be. I knew I wasn't 100%, but I think it's time for a deload. It might be time for a deload. There's a PR numerous times this block. I'm introducing a lot of new things that I've never done before. I think it's finally catching up, and next week is going to be light for sure. This is a perfect example of listening to your body when you're training and not pre-planning a deload. Like if I were still climbing right now, just because I'm in week 4 or 5 of this training block, it doesn't mean I need a deload per se. You should be measuring things and understanding how your body is responding and then reacting to these performance drop-offs and decrements. It's not always predictable. I thought I was going to have a really good week. I actually went lighter in the weight room than I have in weeks past this week, but it happens, and I think I'm just overreaching the speed side. So we're going to go inside, get a little lift in. I'm going to remove my plyos that I was going to do. I think I'm just going to remove them and just do a strength workout with some isometrics and just start that deload now. It's the best you can do. All right, we're going to hit some Bulgarians. We're going to do some single leg RDLs. We're going to do some glute ham device single leg hamstring isos. First, we're going to recharge with some organic 100% honey straight down the hash. Delicious. A little tablespoon of this in the middle of your workout, make you feel amazing.
All my juniors. I know I left you without a name. I don't know how I expected you, but He don't like to drive, but he still good. I'm on the way to Clayco. AK-40 made the Draco. 100 mil, I'ma pay all the bills. I'm not with her. I've been on my house, I need to stop it. What? Sitting in my way, 20 that way, when it like a you never fall for it. I promise you know it's living, mother. Pop to you, yeah. If I had another mansion, I'm getting house from.